Hello, everyone. This is Mr. Middleton. I'm be your professor for 1408 this semester. I'm just going to go through and do an intro video with you, kind of go over the class and expectations, and then go through the syllabus, kind of just your first day stuff, and kind of tell you how this is all going to work. So this course will be all online this semester. Decided that was the best course of action this time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. And this will be your syllabus. So this will be located in Canvas. So our meeting times will just be online. So it'll be as you fit your schedule, and we'll talk about that just a bit. This is the non-majors biology. So this is for non-science majors. Science is kind of weird. We have the majors and the non-majors. They don't do that in English and history and other classes like that. So we're a little unique. So that gives you your course description, and then you have your contact information. My name is Robert Middleton. This is my office/cell number. So if you need something, you can text me. The way this usually works, I have students text me if they're going to be late to class or an issue or something like that. So that may not be necessary at this time, but it is 214-228-5567. If you do have an issue, feel free to text me. Please respect that is my personal cell phone number. I haven't had an issue in the past, so I don't anticipate any forward. But if you need it, you can use that. Email address, the best way to contact me is rmiddleton@collin.edu. You can do that to Canvas, or you can do it to your email address. If you email me, I'll respond within 24 hours during the regular week. If it's on the weekend, it may be a little longer than that. I'll try to get to you sooner than that, but you can always do that. Office hours are going to be a little strange this year. I used to do those just before and after class. I'd show up 30 minutes or an hour before class and stay that long after. What we'll do is if you'll just contact me, text me or email me, and we'll set up a virtual visit either through Canvas or through Zoom. And we can address anything. And probably what I'm going to do is add a discussion page for questions for each chapter as we go through. I'll put that in the modules. Course resources. So your textbook is a smaller textbook. I have an older one. It kind of looks like it's Campbell Biology. It may look a little different than this. It's Concepts and Connections. I think the newer one has a red panda on the front of it. It is, of course, and you'll need that for the first half. The book for me is a resource. It's a way for you to go back and look at something to better understand it. My slides and everything come from the book, so you could possibly go through this whole semester just using the slides and some of the information I'm going to give you. So the book purchase is up to you. I would advise in getting a book, and maybe renting it or something like that. You might need it, but this is a very short course too, so you're probably not going to use another biology book again. For my majors class, I strongly encourage them in purchasing one. The supplies you need to decide if you want the book or not. You do need some kind of electronic device capable of accessing and using Canvas. That's where we'll do our quizzes and our exams. And then needs to also be able to access Google, because that's where we'll have a classroom folder that will keep a lot of the material that you'll need to use. Course policies. So this is very important. And with this being a total online course, it's even more important. This course is a very fast-paced course. We're going to cover the same amount of material that's usually taught in 16 weeks in 5. So it's really compressed. You're going to be expected to learn anywhere from 3 to 4 chapters per week for our lecture class. In your lab class, I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work this semester with y'all. But the lab is generally 4 days a week, and usually a lab write-up, lab quizzes, and 2 major practical labs. So it's a pretty intense course, and I would suggest you setting aside 15 to 30 hours of time to study, depending on your familiarity with biology and how confident you are with it. You could be less, it might be more, but that's usually a pretty safe bet. So please do set aside some time to set up a schedule and do that. And I have a document we'll go through with that as well. Attendance policy, I don't take attendance. Yeah, I always feel like if you're here and you're going to do okay. If you're not going to do well. So attendance kind of takes care of itself. So there is no grade for attendance. I'm not going to check that you get online enough times. That I don't feel that that's necessary, especially in the summer course. Method evaluation. The overall course grade, the way this is figured is 70% of your grade will come from my class, the lecture course. And then 30% of your grade will come from your lab class. So your lab professor at the end will send me your grade, your number grade, not a letter grade, a number grade to me, and then I will factor that in with your grade in here, and then I will assign you a letter grade. For lecture course, we're going to have 5 major exams. I do drop your lowest one. So if you have a bad exam, something goes wrong, you miss it, whatever the reason, we can just drop that one, and I'll drop your lowest one. So those will be 300 points each. There'll be 10 quizzes, and I'll drop your lowest 2. I'm sorry, there's 12 total quizzes, but I'm only going to take 10, so I'll drop your lowest 2. There again, make a mistake, have a bad day, whatever, we'll drop it, no big deal. And then there'll be 10 research abstracts. I provide you the information, and I'll go through how this is going to work. This is basically just a way for you to interact with the material and see why we study biology. So it gives you something, an application of what we're studying, and I kind of tied into what we're studying that week. There'll be 10 of those with 2 that you'll be able to do for bonus, and those are all 25 points apiece. And I'll kind of go through how that's going to work and how you do those as we go through today and in the future. The grading system, like I said, it's 70-30 lab. So 70% lecture, 30% lab. Your final letter grades, an A is a 90 to 100, B is 80 to 89, C is 70 to 79, D is 60 to 69, and F is anything below a 60. Some schools have different grades. There's no B pluses or C pluses here. And you don't have to make a higher grade to get the A. We don't do that here. So next is your course calendar. So it's going to be set up week by week. Give you our lecture topics and then the chapter. So week 1, you're going to go through each week that we'll have a quiz with each chapter. You'll do 2 abstracts with each module that we're going to do, and then we'll have 1 exam. So all of your abstracts and quizzes will be due on Sunday at 11:59. So you need to make sure that you get all of your work done by that time. So there's week 1, week 2, week 3. So we do 3 chapters the first week, 3 chapters the second week, 2 chapters the third, 2 the fourth, and then 2 the fifth. Down at the bottom, this is our exams. We'll take our exams on Monday. I'm running my course exactly like what I did if we were doing it face-to-face, other than your lectures are just going to be through a video. And then your exams, instead of being on paper, will be on through Canvas. So your exams, they're all going to be on Monday. So it'll be chapters 1 through 3 on 6:15, 4, 5, and 11 on 6:22, 6 through 7, 6:29, 8, 9, 7, 6, and then chapters 10 to 12 will be on 7, 10. And those will be open all day from 12:01 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. on Monday. So please plan accordingly. That's the way that it'll work every time. If we have some kind of issue, we can discuss anything like that. The rest is just your student learning outcomes, the policies, dishonesty, etiquette, deadlines, everything else. What I was going to go through next is when the course opens, I'll send out an announcement, and I'm going to give you a link that you'll need to save or favorite. You're going to do that it's going to be to a Google folder that you'll have access to view everything. So I went through the syllabus. I'm going to work my way from bottom to top. So I went through the syllabus. Next we're going to go to is how to write an abstract. So my abstracts, what you're going to do, you're going to read a short article from it's like 3 to 5 pages article from like a Scientific American that ties into what we're studying at that time. And to write an abstract is really pretty simple. It's going to be an APA format, and I don't want to scare anybody off. And it doesn't really work with Canvas anyway. But if you just kind of follow these guidelines, you'll be fine. An abstract is just a short summary of the article. And I kind of give you some guidelines to go through on how to write it. It is 1 paragraph. It's concise. This is not an English class. It's a science class. I want to see that you've read it, you understood it, and you can see how it applies to what we're studying. So what you're going to do is you're going to state like what the problem is, what's been done, what did you learn, or what did the people learn, and then what do the findings mean? How's it going to be used, and summarize it. And it's literally like 4, maybe 5 sentences long. It's about 100 to 120 words, and that's it. It's very, very short. APA formatting, like I said, this really doesn't work too well with Canvas on with the font and the double spacing and those things. Do your best. As long as you're trying to get the general setup of the formatting, we'll be okay. So below that, I give you just an abstract example. So I show you the running title up at the top. This is how you do it. It's just abstract is your, it's going to go right in the center. And then you're just going to go through and you're going to answer these questions. So what was the problem? Outline the objective, problem statement, research question, hypothesis. Tell me what they were studying. What has been done. So what did the people who wrote the story about, what did they do? What did they discover? Summarize the key findings and conclusions. And then what do these findings mean? So you're going to summarize that, what happened and why it's important, what the problem is, what's been done. So you're just going to go through and just do that. And like I said, this should be an easy grade for you. It's basically a way to keep you kind of interested through all the boring biology material and a way to help boost your grade. So these are 25 points apiece, and you'll have the opportunity to do 12. 10 will be for an actual grade that I expect you to do with the other 2. The only thing I would caution you is not to plagiarize. That'll cause you, I'll give you a 0. Everything will be turned in through turnitin.com. So just be very careful what you're doing there. And like I said, this should be something that I hope you find interesting and you're able to kind of just, like I said, it's a way to boost your grade. What I'm going to do, I'm going to skip up and just show you an abstract. So we'll have abstracts folder. You're going to click there. You'll see I have it lined up week 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then anytime. So the first week, we can look at some different things. So here's one on cancer, hidden switches, grow your own eye, forest on the move. Let's click on that one, forest on the move. Okay, so this one is a 6-page article. The very first page is a giant picture. Second page, giant picture. So it's really just, and this is written at a pretty decent level. It's for science nerds that aren't professors and stuff like that. So you're going to just read through that, and you can kind of see this some charts and graphs, talks about climate zones, how it's going to affect, how the seeds change, how the forest actually looks differently, and what the forest of the future is going to look like. And then that's it. So you're going to read this just kind of quickly, and then you just kind of summarize that using those questions. So that'll be abstracts. Like I said, we can discuss that in greater length during the class. Next one, I'm going to insult your intelligence and tell you how to study. Especially with an online class, you're going to want to set up some kind of schedule for time management. I would just schedule myself like I'm sitting in the classroom for 2 hours. it's probably not going to take you that long because the lectures should be a lot shorter since I'm not going to have to give you breaks. We won't have question and answer time during that time. So these videos should be a little shorter, and I would assume that each chapter will take about 40 minutes or so. So set up some kind of schedule. The depth of learning that we're going to be here, I'll line this out for you. So level 1 is just recall, like you just remember it. Level 2 is skills and concepts. Level 3 is strategic thinking. So application and analysis. And then 4 is going to be our extended thinking. So synthesis and evaluation. We're going to live the majority of the time at level 3. To be at level 3, you have to understand level 1 and level 2. And so I'm really interested in lots of application and analysis. That's what I feel like this course is best for. I think this course is to help you be a better citizen and voter on some issues, better health, and use this information for your health. And then the main thing, I think, the reason that we require you to take a science class is just to help you with your critical thinking and analysis. And so that's really what I'm trying to get across to you through this course. Studying tips. So this is just using some brain science information. So just kind of give you some general information how to study, and I give you most effective, moderately effective, least effective. I would highly suggest you do that. I've had students that when we took the first test, they did poorly, and I said, hey, do this and a couple other things, and they changed the way they studied using these methods, and then took up the other suggestions, and then they turned around the grade tremendously. So that person, I remember, he dropped his first grade, and then he excelled the rest of the semester. So the very first thing I'm going to say when you have an issue is, are you doing these things? And let's visit and see what we can do to improve. The very last thing on there is the Feynman technique. This is a really good way to study and find out where your weaknesses are. So the very first thing you do is just write down a concept. Then you're going to explain everything about that concept on that blank piece of paper that you know and remember. And you're going to use just simple language, not the silly, complex biology language. You're just going to use pretty simple language that you understand and you could teach to like a 6 or 7-year-old, and they would understand. You're going to go back and identify any area of weaknesses or what you totally forgot, and then that's what you're going to study. Don't study stuff that makes you that you already know. It makes you feel good and feel like you're going to do really well. This is how we trick ourselves into thinking, man, I'm going to go and kill it because I know this stuff, and you don't know the whole information. So you sit down on the test, you're like, oh my God, where's this stuff come from? It's because you're only studying things you really know instead of the things that you're missing. So this is a real good way to find your weaknesses and hit those points. This is very, very effective. My students in this course and my majors course and my lab courses have done this, and it's worked out quite well for them. It's really good for your lab practical. And then just go through, and then you start over and do this again. And try to figure out where your weaknesses are and exploit those. Okay, very next thing. Like I said, I'm just gonna work myself up now. So I do have some problem sets. These are just questions that go along with the chapters. That this may be the good way to start out with your Feynman technique. So chapter 2, chapter 1 is just a basic biology. I teach the same lesson for both courses every single year. It's the same here. This is biology. This is what it means. So chapter 2 is where we really get into it. We start out with some chemistry. So describe the importance of chemical elements to living organisms. It's a very broad question. So you can sit down and write everything you know about that after we've done this. So this will be a good study tool for you to go ahead and use and try to understand. And then you can kind of gives you a jumping point. You can take notes. I've had students use this during class too. Okay, so that's just going to be just problem sets. So it's just questions. Notes. So these are not necessarily my notes. What these are notes straight from the book. So what I've done, I've just given you access to them all. So this is basically like your book, but it's in outline form. There's no pictures. What I've had students do that have done well, they've actually printed these off or read them before they came to lecture. And it allows them to better understand, because this is just the basic information. In my lecture, I'm just going to kind of explain some things. And it allowed them to write down the things that they didn't know. And if I didn't address it, then they would ask. So this, you could use this possibly as your book and get through the course. That's up to you. But it's not in place of my lectures because, like I said, I go through and I explain things, and I'll roughly cover almost everything on here. So it's just it's a resource for you. The next thing here is in-class presentations. These are all the PowerPoints I'm going to use. So this is going to be the book that you'll probably get, or something similar to that with the red panda on it. So there's lots of pictures. You'll have access to this. So you don't necessarily need to print this off, but you can open this up as I'm going through and reading it. Read along if you want to. You have access to it. I just want you to have as much material as possible so you can go through and feel confident on how what material is being presented. This is also useful, like so in class, if you miss class, and just say, hey, make sure you follow this, or I have to leave earlier, I'm going to be late. I would always say, just make sure you read through the presentation and the notes, trying to catch yourself up, and then let me know if you have any questions. Okay, I'm going to go back to Canvas. Let's go to modules. So your modules, these will open up, and I'm going to have them open them one by one. I think that's probably going to be the best way to do this, with this being an online course. So week one module will be open during that first week. So you can see our 2 abstracts. We're going to have quizzes, chapter 1, 2, and 3, and then we'll have our exam. On your exams, the way I'm going to do this, we could go through honor lock and all those things, but then that requires you to have a computer with a camera, and I had some issues with students didn't have access to all these things. And so I'm going to use Canvas. And the way we're going to work is that all your exams will be timed. And it'll be a fair amount of time based on the questions. Typically the exams are 50 questions. And you will see a question one by one, and you will not be able to go back and change your answers. Okay? And then there will be a mixture of multiple choice and short answer. So you never know what's coming up, and then you can't go back. I feel like this is fair because I understand you would have all your resources at your availability. I'm not going to watch you and have somebody watch you. If you don't know what you're doing, you're not going to finish the exam. Okay, and so that's where I feel like it being timed is going to take care of that. You looking up answers. Okay, so you just need to know that as you go, and it's just random. It may be multiple choice for the first 3, and then a couple short answers. So you never know what's lurking. Please do your best, study your best, and so you'll be prepared to take that. Like I said, I'll give you ample amount of time that's fair, but it won't be extended, and it's just to reduce the amount of cheating. And not that you would do that, but I know if you have the opportunity, you're going to be able to look something up, and you could use that to your advantage. But just don't depend on looking everything up, because I don't think you're going to be able to finish, and that's kind of by design. Okay, so week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, and down at the bottom, here's our bonus abstracts. Everything will be live. Probably turn this on Saturday. Everything will be live. What I'm going to do is add a discussion into each module. So I'm hoping all we have to do is go to the modules and you'll just jump off. The lectures will be after each chapter. And it's going to just be a link to a YouTube video that I'll be making. So as we go through, if you have any questions, email me, put it in discussion, ask through Canvas, and we'll work through things. I can't stress enough how important it's going to be for you to set some kind of schedule for yourself with the online courses. It will really, really eat your lunch, and this is not a class that you can get behind in, because you'll basically just have to stop where you are and just start over, and then you'll miss a whole week's worth of information, and you'll just have to take the L and drop that exam, because this information is quite a bit. It's a very short amount of time. And so that's usually what students struggle with the most, is the amount of information that's given to you and you're expected to learn in this short amount of time. All my students at work have done okay. And this is basically a course that is, what you put in, you get out. If you have any issues, please let me know. I don't want anything to, I don't want you to have any issues and not be able to access something. So if you do, please email me. I will respond. I do understand we can work through almost any issue. But if you could, look forward to seeing you. Doing this the rest of the semester. This is kind of odd. I'm really going to miss getting to see you and get to know you. You'll get to miss all my bad dad jokes in person. But look forward to going through this. And like I said, please let me know if you have any issues.